Okay, friends, Max Gower and Candace LaCroix Johnston back on Pembroke elections 2018 with our friend and local here running for Pembroke City Council, Cory Nagora. Thanks for being here again.
No problem.
For an update. Wonderful to see you here. As we've improved our platform, he's been invited back to share his message and share his campaign. So let's get started, Candace.
Yeah, absolutely. So welcome back.
Thank you.
It's great to have you again, and we're getting towards the end of the campaign trail. So how are you doing so far?
Well, I feel like making some sort of impact. I think that coming back and doing this a second time was important. The first time around it was kind of new, and then you guys have perfected it, and I've kind of done the same with my platform, so I feel a lot more comfortable now discussing it as well.
That's perfect.
Wonderful.
That's exactly perfect. So, yeah, having a look at your, well, you know what, we should talk about Thanksgiving first, because it is Thanksgiving.
Very much a Thanksgiving fall-themed show today on Thanksgiving Monday.
Yeah.
It's great that we could all come in here. And we also have Tim, our manager, here in the background, helping us with productions and sharing it to the group for us. Tim, say hi.
Hi.
All right, that's all he can do. He's behind the scenes for now, but we'll be interviewing Tim later. And how was your Thanksgiving, Cory?
It was great. Yesterday we had the kids and some family around and enjoyed the turkey.
Did you guys put on the dinner?
Yeah. Second time now I've had to cook turkey and.
That's not a bad thing.
No, it's not.
I cooked the turkey yesterday.
I didn't burn it, so that's a good thing. So.
Yeah, that's good. That's perfect. That's all that matters.
Yeah. Tim and I had a great Thanksgiving. We were blessed to be with Mike and Candace and her children and her family. So thank you for hosting us. It was great. Your turkey was amazing, and the pumpkin pie story is yet to be told.
Oh yeah, the pumpkin pie story.
Yeah, but we can talk about that a little bit later. Let's get to your platform and let's just start talking about your platform for City Council. What are the pillars?
My goals is to bring reason back to Pembroke. Reasons to work and to play, reasons to visit and to stay, so that we as a community can grow together. I think in order to do that, we have to look at 4 areas. I think economic development, social collaboration, recreation, and environment.
Wow. I like the social collaboration you said?
Yeah.
Social collaboration, recreation, environment. What was the 4th?
Economic development.
Wow.
Jobs.
Wonderful, wonderful. And I think a lot of those points speak to a broad range of people, but I wanted to mention that we're not only on Facebook Live right now, we're on 3 separate devices. We're on Facebook Live, we're on YouTube Live, and on Instagram Live. And this is our first time publishing to Instagram on the Church Street Media House page, and we're trying to encourage you all to vote. So I think this is a really good way to start with your pillars, because those would be attractive to a lot of the younger generations in this area as well. Mm-hmm. And we need to get them voting as well. There's been a decline.
Absolutely, and I think what you guys have done with regards to the videos is perfect. I think it actually caters to a whole new generation of potential voters, and I think it's great to get out there and to get our voices heard. And so far, from what I've seen from the other candidates, it seems to be going well for you guys.
Yes, thank you very much.
Are your 4 pillars also explained in the pamphlet?
Yeah, this is a pamphlet. Most of you will probably start seeing this starting as of tomorrow. Basically, it outlines who I am, what I've done with regards to my work and over my life, and as well as what I think we can do to improve.
Nice.
That's wonderful. So, I guess we'd start at the top. Let's give everybody a good idea of what this brochure is about. So, in regards to economic development, you mentioned a couple really good points. So the first one is promoting the city. That's a big one.
Yeah, we do have a committee right now, the Pembroke Economic Development, I can never remember what the A stands for, committee. It's Advisory Committee,
yes.
PDAC, we'll just say. Basically, that's their role in council. It was created in 2015, and so far it's doing well. They have a marketing plan being tendered out right now to different consultation groups in order to see about getting marketing out for Pembroke. With regards to promoting Pembroke, I think that we need to not just promote out to the county, but to the whole country. I think there's a few ways to do that. Merchandising, I think, is one way where name of the city where you are, so that when you go places, people know where you're from, and they can question, what's that? And then you can give them a brief explanation of what Pembroke's all about.
Absolutely. And I gotta mention, Hallmark is doing that for us right now too.
Are they? Yeah.
With their
Yeah,
movie
absolutely. With the movies, yeah.
That is so cool.
Yeah,
In front of Grey Gables, there's like snow and everything right now. It's really cool.
No, I think that's important for the promotion. And also, I mentioned, I think in the previous video or even in my posts, with regards to trying to get some kind of major event here that does the same thing nationally. We mentioned the flag games or the timber sports. I think that's a great way to get publicity out there as well. It's a national televised event, and that kind of event would be a good boost for Pembroke, I think, as well.
Absolutely, and it would definitely kind of revitalize the current event right now. Fiddle Park, or did you want to do it separately?
Separate or in collaboration,
Yeah.
whichever way.
Whichever.
Yeah.
Yeah, ask the locals what they think, and
Well, and that's the biggest part is, getting the public feedback to see what's important for the public and how they feel that they want their city to be promoted, kind of have our identity.
yes.
So we're supposed to be the heart of the Ottawa Valley, and I think that we need to do a better job of showcasing that.
Absolutely, and the lumber industry was huge, and we really don't do much I don't think at all right now, do we? To really promote.
There's some there's some businesses obviously in Pembroke that still deal with woodland and stuff like that. Commonwealth still does have a place in Pembroke, and so I think that going forward, that if we're going to market Pembroke, we got to market it as a place that is willing to do business, but has to be also environmentally sound business as well.
Oh, absolutely.
Very good. And how about social collaboration? Can you speak on that for now?
Sure. Social collaboration. So what does that mean to me? Well, there's 3 ways that I like to improve it. Council interaction. I want to see council get more involved with the public, either in getting their decisions out to the public through either they decide now to go with live streaming. That's great. That's a step in the right direction. I think it's important then for people then to hold council accountable so that they're doing what they're suggested they're supposed to be doing. More transparency, seeing what's actually going on behind the scenes, so we're not kind of kept in the dark and then see all these things kind of all happen at once. Also, with regards to what's on the Facebook or on the city website, trying to find minutes for some of the committees meetings and stuff like that. It's a little difficult, they're a little outdated, and they're not transcribed well enough, so you don't get a real kind of sense of what was discussed in those meetings. So I'd like to improve upon that. Increasing our volunteers, looking for more people to get more involved in their community. I think that's also important.
Yes.
And my ideas for that, maybe something that we could look at down the road is a social credit or a Pembroke loyalty program. A way to get people involved in the community so that when they do volunteer or donate or even be a long-term resident, they can get some kind of benefit back for being that, being part of the community. And then also with our senior youth programs. I mentioned before about Gadget Guides, a program that would involve our youth to teach technology to the older generation.
Yes, I like that idea.
Yeah, you posted a video and I've taken it upon in my platform, and it was regards to, I call it senior student accommodations, basically getting college students coming into the area to be able to live with some of the seniors in our area that may have extra space. And so it offers them an opportunity then to get a college student to live with them while they're going to school here, and they get help and assistance at home, and then it also benefits the student then as well, because then they get a perspective of the life here in Pembroke as well. So.
Absolutely, and the seniors need the students just as bad as the students need the seniors, so that works out really good. So we covered social collaboration.
Recreation going on now.
Recreation, yeah, let's get more into that.
Recreation. 3 ways we can improve that. Let's get rid of the outside user fees when it comes to certain activities in Pembroke. I think that's a step in the right direction. People say, well, it's counterintuitive for losing money then by not getting these people paying the extra funds. But the problem is that if we're not getting people participating in the programs in Pembroke because they can find their activity in another municipality where they don't have to pay the extra fees, then they're not going to come to Pembroke. They're going to go to Pembroke, they're going to go to Laurentian Valley. We want them participating in Pembroke. So that to me is important, right? Then they would say, well, then it's counterintuitive if you want a major project, because then why would they want to invest in a major project if they don't have to pay the user fees on it afterwards? Well, then that's where I would look at, say, revenue sharing. So say for example with the Kingsman Pool, if we can get a collaboration with Whitewater and say Laurentian Valley, Pembroke puts 50% of the cost in, Laurentian Valley puts 25, and Whitewater puts 25%, then we can split the revenue the same way. And this way there, they still get involved in on the project, and they still get something back from the project, which I think is very important.
Yes.
And then with everything, with the reconstruction and the outside user fees, increase the programs. Let's get people participating in sports and activities and competitions, especially competitions in Pembroke. Having any kind of competition, be it gymnastics, esports, you know, anything like that whatsoever.
Do we have any kind of, like there's lots of triathlons in the Ottawa Valley and bike races. Is there many like, of those physique and strongman competitions? Those bring in a lot. Those are great for events. You know?
Oh, absolutely, and that kind of idea is important too. You know, that's for getting public feedback. You know, because I never thought of those actually.
Wasn't there an idea for a logging themed event too?
That was what I suggested.
That was your
Timber
suggestion.
sports,
Flag games or
yeah, the flag games are
Flag
timber
games.
sports, but again, that's the same thing. It's about getting those competitions. Like my stepdaughter, she participates in gymnastics. We travel to Ottawa, to Kingston, to London for these tournaments. They draw anywhere from 300 to 500 competitors plus their families, and it's for a weekend, right? So you're going to get people then coming into Pembroke for another reason.
You need strongman as part of the flag games.
Yeah.
It would fit in, it would tie in great with all the other lumberjack and all the other. Then you have music. You have a really full-bodied event.
Absolutely.
So you can invite a lot of different ideas to that.
Mm-hmm.
Great idea.
yeah. You had mentioned reconstruction of the Kinsman Pool. That is a really big one, and that's a big topic right now.
Yeah, I think it's great that the current council has found collaboration with the YMCA.
That is awesome.
I
Yeah.
think that's great. I think that's a step in the right direction, obviously, as well. I would still like it to not just be an aquatic facility. I still think that we could do much more by making it a multi-purpose facility. I think that we
absolutely.
can, and it doesn't all have to be built at once. You know, do a phase-in project, phase it in over a few years, build the main area first, and then just continue to adapt and to expand on it each year, adding a little bit more money to it until eventually you have this beautiful place that draws people together for different various reasons.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I love I love the fact that that's a possibility for Pembroke, because I know a lot of people that would use it. Probably a majority of this town, and I like your idea of starting small and building on, and really figuring out what it is that is going to interest our locals. You know, like.
Well, that's where I think it's also important that we have a proper design or a few designs. This was something another candidate and I discussed, where if you're going to put out something to the public for the public, then it should be the public that makes some of the decision. So, for example, the fire hall, I don't feel there was a lot of public decision in the building or the design or anything like that. So, in order to prevent that, I think you put out a few different designs and you get the public to decide what works best for them.
I like that idea. Getting the people more involved.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
definitely.
Wonderful. Moving on to environment. Can we talk about that, because that hasn't been everyone's topic of discussion.
Yeah.
No,
On
and
the show, and
and I think that that's something that we have to be looking at. I think that the next generation, millennials and that, and even younger than that are going to be coming up, their environment's going to be an important issue. You want to be able to have a sustainable lifestyle here in Pembroke, and I think that we have to show we have some concern when it comes to the environment. I've suggested in my pamphlet about reducing traffic through transit. Now again, this is something that would require cooperation, I don't think just with Pembroke, but also with Laurentian Valley, maybe even Petawawa, to get transit to run from all three areas. I think that would, in a sense, reduce the traffic on the roads, which reduces carbon or pollution, and it also then takes a little bit less impact on the roads. So we're not overly concerned about having to fix our roads all the time. I want to avoid green space development. I want to leave some of the green space that we currently have in the areas that they are, and start looking at the vacant buildings that are currently occupying our city.
Yes.
And start getting more involved in getting those either businesses in there or finding ways to be able to get the land back so that we can actually develop it the way that we want to. And the last thing I touched on is I would like to review the CNL NSDF proposal. That's the near surface disposal facility for the waste. There's 100+ municipalities along the Ottawa River that have concerns over this. Pembroke doesn't seem to be one of them, so I would like to review it and ensure that we're safe.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
The facility is said to be proven, but what's the oldest one in the world? And is it over 10 to 15 years old? And if so, is that a guarantee this is going to be around for 50 years? So.
Oh, absolutely.
So I think those are major things that we have to be concerned about. Same thing within investing in business and factories and stuff coming into the area. I think that we have to ensure that the business types that we're getting are environmentally sound, so that we're not destroying our way of life in order to benefit for money now when there may not be a future later. So.
What would you like to see come into this town?
For job-wise, I think you got to increase the revenue. If we can't necessarily reduce the taxes, then we need to increase the revenue of the people in Pembroke. So we got to start looking at jobs that are reflected not just for. You got to go after jobs that are basically geared towards the younger ones that are starting to grow up.
Yes.
So you got to start looking at jobs of which they're interested in, and that goes with the diversifying of my job with regards to economic development. We got to ensure that we're getting a wide variety of different jobs. Factory-wise, we can go with, indoor farming now is starting to become something popular.
Yes.
For a variety of products. Yeah.
Good. No, it's really good. Since we've gotten through your 4 pillars, there's still more to talk about the city. However, Tim, I want you to check out the group if you can. Are you on the group? You're on
Candace.
On her page?
Yeah.
Are there any questions coming in or anything?
Nothing yet.
No. And are you able to share that to the group?
Yes,
Can you do that?
I did.
Oh, and so can you go check in the group for questions, perhaps?
Sure.
Or perhaps write in the comments that anyone that's watching in the Pembroke Elections 2018 Facebook group, as well as, well, no, I can only say anyone watching on YouTube or Instagram, please flip over to Facebook. Anyone watching on Candace's page, please follow the links to the Pembroke Elections 2018 group and drop a comment if you have a question specifically for our candidate here, Cory Nagora, and we'll keep. I say your name right.
I just said it's Cory Nagora.
Nagora, Cory Nagora, and I need to make sure I check that. But yeah, we want everyone to be able to ask questions in the format there on the Pembroke Elections 2018 group. But in the meantime, when we first had you here in the studio, you were our first candidate, correct?
Second, I was behind.
On the first day.
I was on the first day.
Right on.
Yes.
Okay.
So,
And we talked a little bit about your connection to the Ottawa Valley and to Pembroke. We talked a bit about Thanksgiving today, but let's talk a little bit about your history here in the Ottawa Valley. Did you grow up in Pembroke?
Yeah, I was born in Kitchener. Shortly before my first birthday, my family moved back to Pembroke. They were originally from here. I've been raised in Pembroke, Eganville, and Laurentian Valley. I graduated in Fellows High School in 2000. I continued to work in the area at restaurants for the next 4 or 5 years. Then in 2003, I decided to go back to get my degree in mathematics so I could teach. But life doesn't always go quite the way they expect it to.
Yeah.
And I was blessed with my first of 3 children, and so I moved back to Pembroke. So that was 13 years ago, almost to the day. So since I came back, while I was in North Bay, I was doing telemarketing for a couple of years, and then I worked at OLS, HGS for a few years once I came back. And now I work for Purelator, and I have for the last 10 years. But the one thing with regards to any job I've ever worked, I've always made sure that I've been the most resourceful, knowledgeable, and versatile. I think those are important aspects for anybody running for council. And with regards to Purelator, I've dedicated myself to the job that I now, they call me the human GPS, and I honestly can't get lost in Renfrew County. So.
That's awesome.
But that's through hard work and effort, and so because any given day I could be put on a run anywhere in the county. So,
Really, eh?
yeah.
I didn't realize they went that far.
Oh yeah, we service Pembroke, Renfrew County, all the way up to as far as Renfrew. We go all the way up to Deep River, up to Hardwood Lake, up to the Gonkum Park, and then we even go into the Pontiac as far as Fort Punch. So
Yeah, that was good on Pembroke then for that. That's awesome.
yeah, so and in that case, like I said, any given day I can be in any of those areas. So Yeah, and that's the kind of drive that I have when it comes to any position or work that I take on. I want to be that person that people can come to and get informed. I want to be the invaluable person that's start to get rid of type thing. So.
Yeah, you want to be necessary for city council, and
absolutely.
And from hearing about what you said when you first were in the studio, you don't have all the answers, but you're willing to do what it takes to find those answers for citizens of Pembroke.
Absolutely.
So. Tim, Tim, sounds like there's no questions in the group coming in. However, for anyone watching this episode of Pembroke Elections 2018 Rubber Chicken Circuit, you can tag Cory in a post in either of the news groups or elections groups on Facebook, and I'm sure he'll get back to you as soon as he can. We'd like you to tag those questions in the Pembroke Elections 2018 group. That's where we're posting this video. But Cory's pretty good with Facebook, I think, and he can find you if you tag him, or just find him on his page and ask him a question. Do you have a Facebook page?
I do. If you go to Nagora for Council, I've posted all my platform posts or anything with regards to this election. I've put them onto that page so you can see them for yourself. I have a group as well. I think it's Nagora for Council as well.
Sure.
Or you can just even go onto my personal Facebook page, Cory Nagora, and you can look on there as well. All my information, how to get in contact with me, is always available as well. So.
Nice. Are we expecting to see you out on the 18th at Carrie and Jenna's place, or are you going to be working?
Yes. No, I will be there.
You're going to be there to hang out. We're going to be relaxing at Jenna and Carrie's Over Easy Bar and Grill in the beautiful city of Pembroke downtown, and we're going to be there at 7 p.m. Correct? 7 p.m. on the 18th of October, so next Thursday evening.
Yes.
We want to invite all of our viewers to meet us there. If you want to meet some of the council running candidates for City Council of Pembroke and just get to know them a little bit, but no taxing questions or debates. It's really just to have a appetizer, perhaps a drink, and get to know each other as a community, because we're going to be doing a lot together in the future, aren't we?
I hope so.
So glad to see that you're coming, and we see a lot of positive feedback from other candidates. Is there anything else? Yeah, let's keep going with
sure.
Anything you want to touch on.
No, actually, I was just going to mention when you said about Carrie's on the 18th. Also, don't forget tomorrow is the candidates meet, and that is at Festival Hall at 6:30. Doors open at 6, and it starts at 6:30. So this will be an opportunity for everyone in Pembroke to come and see the candidates. There's 20 of them. For me, it's kind of like it's almost like a fantasy draft when you have to think about it. I mean, you're picking a team of 6, so you want to make sure that you're picking the best team, right? And make sure, I mean, for myself, I don't have to be everyone's first pick, but I would like to be at least your 6th. So I think it's important that when you look at the candidates, make sure that you're in line with the ones that work best for you, and that you're voting and using all 6 in order to make sure that you get the best council that you want.
Well, and I always take that into consideration too, because we're voting for 6 candidates. I always try and put the thought in that they have to work good together. They have to collaborate their ideas together, and you want them to want to work together. You know what I mean? Because if you have one or two kind of out of the group, it's kind of counterproductive.
In some ways, you want to make sure though that we do want somewhat of a diverse council. You want to get different ideas, different opinions coming from different people, right? So it's mostly about being able to work with the team and to show compromise when you need to. Yes. Those are important aspects of being a councillor. You need to be willing to take other people's ideas, consider them if they're going to work, and work together in order to make those things happen. So.
Absolutely.
We do have a question from our audience in the Pembroke Elections 2018 Facebook group, and that question is from Mary Jean Plath, a local volunteer here in Pembroke. Thoughts on doctor recruitment?
Yes.
Speak on that?
I can. Well, there's been a number of candidates that have been looking to put ourselves back. I think this is a great idea. I noticed that current council has already taken upon themselves to do this. I would question why it was stopped in 2015 in the first place, personally, because, obviously they didn't have everyone, not everyone had a doctor at that time.
Yeah. A lot were orphaned, too.
Yeah, and I think with knowing that there was going to be some retirees coming up, I think that it would have been smart to continue the program. Regardless, I think that in order to do a better job with our recruitment program, we have to look at Hastings County. They just recently brought on another 4 positions. They've had their program now for 12 years. They've invested $100,000 to potential students, medical students, and those students coming out of medical school for a 5-year term in their community. Their success shows that it's a good program. They have 12 physicians that they've recruited through this program, and they're hiring another 2 next year.
Awesome.
So if we could do something similar with regards to our physician recruitment committee, then that's, to me, it would make perfect sense. I'd also like to expand on the program to look at nurse practitioners.
Yeah, I was just going to mention that.
Yeah, I've been putting on Facebook a lot often about nurse practitioners. I think they're a good cost value compared to a physician. They're a front line to our healthcare, which would then alleviate some of the stress on our wait times at hospitals. And I definitely have to look into bringing a clinic, or at least one clinic, back to Pembroke so we can get those quick stuff for people that have more minor ailments or cases that can easily be resolved outside of a hospital setting.
Yeah, that's a really good idea.
Yeah.
And I feel like we don't have enough doctors' clinics out there right now,
No, ever since Dr. Owens shut down his clinic on Lake Street, the only option really now is basically to go to the hospital.
Yeah. And Zone B is good for that. Ever since they did open up Zone B, it's definitely gotten through a lot of the congestion because not everybody is in emerge for ailments. They're in there to get a injection, or there's all sorts of reasons. So it has been quite successful for the hospital too. But it would be nice to see more doctors' clinics, come into the area, and or even the nurse clinics, that could be run by a doctor, but on the side there's a couple nurses too, so it would help get through that patient congestion. So yeah. I like the color, by the way, I gotta mention. I love your sign on the yards, it stands out so much. I can see it coming from like a mile away. It's like, oh look, there's a Cory Nagora sign, because it's like so bright out there. I love it.
Yeah, I try to be original. So I mean, I market my pamphlets yellow and black, my signs are yellow and black, and I can create the hat.
It matches Max's shirt.
Yes.
Actually, we're color coordinated accidentally.
We kind of are, accidentally.
And we're trying to have a nice decor today, so we're gonna upgrade as we keep saying, every day, baby steps. I love your marketing. I love how you come in here and you've been speaking for the younger generations, but also speaking on topics that all generations are finding important in these days, and we're clearly seeing evidence that these are important topics. And these topics being economic development, social collaboration, recreation, and environment once again. And I love how on the back you're promoting voting in general. I hope all candidates have reminders to all of their friends and family as well, and all of their potential supporters. On October 22nd, voting day is at the Royal Canadian Legion at 202 Pembroke Street East, and that's 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. And do you guys know, internet voting is also on here. That starts on Friday, October 12th at 2008 at 10 a.m. and that's until Monday, October 22nd at 8 p.m. You can vote on the internet, and there'll be links shared all over Facebook and on the City of Pembroke's website, of course.
Yeah, and everyone should have received at this point now their voter cards to allow them to actually go online and do the voting. If you haven't, make sure you go down to City Hall or voterlookup.ca to make sure that you are registered. It's important to get your voice out there and to be heard. Municipal elections are great because it's very community oriented. You get to see your leaders more often. So I think it's important that you get out and vote.
Gotta get out and vote.
Well, that's a great way to end the show, unless there are any further questions.
Yeah.
No?
No, I'm good.
Wonderful. All right.
Unless there's anything else that you'd like to add.
This has been a great
No,
interview.
I think this has been great.
It's been
I appreciate the opportunity to come back.
Thanks, brother.
Thanks for giving me that chance.
Absolutely.
Pembroke elections 2018. Stay positive.
Stay positive.
And God bless.